This One's Wife. The Beckhams shit on Meghan. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. There was a time when This One's Wife and Victoria Beckham appeared to be forging a close friendship. This followed, of course, the Beckhams' attendance at Prince Harry and This One's Wife's wedding in 2018, when, as a prominent couple, well known in the world of celebrity, football, music, and fashion, they were invited as a bolt-on by This One's Wife to make her look good. However, at first, it would appear that the position was supportive, with Victoria lending This One's Wife an all-important little black book of her favourite beauticians in London to help her settle in. However, it would appear that further details of their friendship were then shared in the press, and This One's Wife then claimed that Victoria Beckham had leaked the stories. This resulted in a telephone call between Harry and David Beckham, where Harry was very polite, but it was an awkward exchange, and David Beckham was mortified. The idea, of course, that Victoria Beckham would be personally ringing journalists to give them a scoop is preposterous, and David Beckham stated as such to Harry. Harry was being very protective of his wife, the position of the intimate partner primary source ensnared by a narcissist, and it resulted, of course, in a cooling of relations between the two parties, which has then transferred into, essentially, disdain and envy on the part of This One's Wife towards Victoria Beckham, and repeated snarky jibes towards This One's Wife coming from the Beckhams. Many people have commented upon the fact that This One's Wife is attempting to cosplay Victoria Beckham at present, and as a narcissist that is empty on the inside, and her propensity towards character trait acquisition as one of the prime aims, there would be force in such a suggestion with regard to wanting to be like her in terms of the level of financial success that the Beckhams have and the level of affection that is shown for them by many people around the world. The fact that Victoria Beckham has her fashion industry and that it is something which struggled at first but is starting to gain greater credibility. And of course, we know that Catherine, Princess of Wales, has been wearing some of Victoria Beckham's designs. This has resulted in the green eye appearing from This One's Wife, with the suggestion that she has been trying to emulate Victoria Beckham to a degree, particularly with regard to her appearance at the Balenciaga fashion show. We'd seen previously where some snark had been directed towards This One's Wife by the Beckhams. There was a clip of them discussing, I think, jam in their kitchen at one point. And then we've also seen footage which has appeared on their social media post showing David actually extracting vegetables in the garden, as opposed to This One's Wife wandering around with shop-bought vegetables to make it look like she's taken them out in the garden. We actually saw David Beckham in amongst the leeks or whatever it was, demonstrating that he grows them and he extracts them, a contrast with that of This One's Wife. Once again, providing a contrast between what he and Victoria Beckham do compared to that of This One's Wife. That David Beckham actually does these things, that he actually is engaged in beekeeping, something he discusses with King Charles, that he actually does grow vegetables and is interested in doing all of that, whereas This One's Wife just cosplays at it. Well, it would appear that there is another instance of the Beckhams dropping a dump load of shit on This One's Wife from a height. Have a look at this piece of footage.
So from the Beckhams.
No, you haven't. Where's my parcel? I
It's
don't
got a
know.
little bow on it and everything.
How sweet that he actually replied
we
to
don't
me
care about that.
on
What's in
Instagram.
it? Oh, cute!
Oh my god, is that his honey?
DB on it.
Oh my god.
Look at his envelopes. They've got DB.
Got emblems.
Oh my gosh, we need an emblem. Hold on. To Stacey and Joe.
I'm sorry, I didn't even make it on the
And
emblem.
To Stacey and Joe, I hope you enjoy the honey and snacks. Lots of love.
You've
David
officially got
Beckham.
his, oh my
Oh,
god.
David Beckham's autograph. What a time to be alive. There's 2 jars of honey.
Okay.
DB's sticky stuff. That must be David Beckham's
I love
sticky
that.
stuff. That must called their honey, so this must be Victoria's. It's called Sticky Vicky. And have the coolest lunchboxes for the next couple of weeks. We love you, Dave. Thank you. And Victoria. Can't wait to have some Sticky Vicky on my toes.
For those of you from outside the United Kingdom, and perhaps for some of you who are in the United Kingdom, these 2 ladies are Stacey Solomon and her sister, Gemma Solomon. Stacey Solomon was on the X Factor. I think she came 3rd or something a number of years ago, and she's carved out a career since as essentially a television personality. She's been on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, that kind of thing. I understand her sister, and I had to look this up, is an entrepreneur, and she has some kind of successful labelling business that has had investment from Lord Sugar, he of The Apprentice show. I would say that they're not 2 people that I'd ever want to share any recreational nose candy with, because you wouldn't get any. But having made that point and putting it to one side, this is an excellent example of how this one's wife gets it so wrong with her grift boxes, and David Beckham and Victoria Beckham get it so right with their gift box, dumping all over this one's wife. First of all, it's a good old size, and it comes with a tartan bow, and you can see the excitement. And the excitement's genuine. You recall when people have received grift boxes from this one's wife, and they've then put it out on Instagram. You've got the feeling that when it's been done by a famous person, it's almost done as a consequence of obligation, rather than any genuine enthusiasm in receiving some crap crepes or a bottle of wine. And when it's done by the micro-influencers, their enthusiasm is over the top and performative. However, here, because David and Victoria Beckham are bona fide famous people who forged careers themselves, she was more famous initially because she was in the Spice Girls. He then became the more famous one as a consequence of his football career. And they've remained in the public eye ever since as a consequence of some astute business deals and the pursuit of fame and prominence through some astute PR moves. But they are master and mistress of their own fortune. They didn't marry in to gain it. And you can see the enthusiasm and delight from the 2 ladies at the receipt of the gifts, and the fact that it contains a handwritten card which has David Beckham's autograph on it, which causes Stacey Solomon to declare, "What a time to be alive." And it also exhibits the sense of humour of the Beckhams, because there are 2 jars of honey which have been created by David Beckham, not by somebody else on behalf of this one's wife, which was the case with her honey. You'll remember the surfer dude that she was seen wandering around with, who was actually the proper beekeeper. David Beckham does it himself, and the sense of humour is exhibited by reference to David Beckham's sticky stuff, Fanar, and the other jar labelled Sticky Vicky. It's much better presented. It has authenticity because we know that David Beckham is a beekeeper. And the portrayal of this with such clear enthusiasm shits all over anything that this one's wife has done. And the fact is that whilst the Beckhams will have done this for the purposes of gaining some further publicity by virtue of Stacey Solomon and her sister taking to Instagram and sharing what they've received, it's also the fact that they are demonstrating, hey, look, we can send out gift boxes. Ours are better. Ours actually contain products that we've created rather than the things that have been mass manufactured like this one's wife. And naturally, they are playing a game of doing things that this one's wife does, but doing it better, demonstrating how it should be done with individuals that know what they're doing, that are famous because of their own achievements, rather than from marrying a hapless ginger prince. And it throws into stark relief the amateurish way that this one's wife goes about things, and the faux enthusiasm that stems from the famous people who feel obligated to show what they've received, and the micro-influencers who go over the top, because at the end of the day, the products provided by this one's wife are not particularly good. And let me ask you this, valuable viewers, and you can tell me in the comments section, what would get you more excited? The receipt of a jar of honey from David Beckham, or a jar of Solent Red from this one's wife? Maybe neither. Maybe you don't care for either. But if you had to make a choice between the two, pop it in the comments section and let me know. But once again, the Beckhams demonstrating that they have this one's wife in their eye, and they shit all over her. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.